This is the Peral's Report.
How's it going, everyone? This is Leo Perales, and this is the Perales Report. Let's talk. I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into it. This is current Councilman Bob Hoffman, who's representing District 6. And so, Bob, for the people out there in Pasco who may not know who you are, who is Bob Hoffman?
Thank you. As you just said, Leo, I'm the current incumbent of District 6 for the last 12 years when I was appointed to fill a vacancy. This is my first campaign pursuant to the new format where each district votes for its representative on council. I'm getting out and meeting the voters this time. It's a great experience, seeing people face to face, hearing what their concerns are, and where the focus of the attention needs to be given. This summer, I've been refreshing myself in Spanish a little bit, taking the Spanish 101 class at CBC. That's been a great time. And what I'm trying to do on council right now is, as much as anything, to keep Pasco out of the news. There's been some things happen the last few years that have been unfortunate. So my goal here, I'm trying to accomplish, is keep us out of the news, keep Pasco running smoothly, keep services provided, and keep opportunity presented for everybody, and fight for the underdogs from time to time who need some representation in City Hall.
Awesome. Okay, what is the biggest challenge facing Pasco? And this can be many challenges. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and just...
Probably the biggest challenge is keeping up with growth. What does that mean? It means that we have to keep up with infrastructure, roads, sewers, pipes, things like that. And it also means we have to be ahead on planning for fire stations, for increased protection. And we have to keep our police department up in terms of attracting recruits and training to keep our departments up to speed, up to growth. The challenge of growth means that we have the conflict and the tension between some people want Pasco to become a metropolitan area with the opportunities for cultural events. And big cities have. Other people say we like the small town feel. We like to watch birds, have open spaces. So the city is trying to maintain that balance, procure key open spaces in the community as they come up, so we can have playing fields and places for recreation as well as to growth. And we want to plan our roads and developments smart and as well as we can.
Okay. I like that you mentioned growth. What is the relationship like between the city and the county? Because we see a lot of growth in the Road 100 area. And can that be an issue like we see at 68, how it's just so convoluted and congested? How are we dealing with that? Because I know that's an issue that a lot of residents have.
Road 68 has had some improvements of local projects to improve the drivability and traffic lanes and street lighting as best as we can, and turn lanes. Road 100, we hope to get ahead of the curve and anticipate a little better what could happen. The area to the west of Road 100 will be the subject of considerable planning as an area for what kind of growth we want to see, what kind of development, so it all is coordinated and fits together in a way that's appropriate for Pasco.
Okay. I got another question about the Route 68 area. The track is not really being financially solvent. I understand that's the county's problem. Do you feel like the city has any role in making sure that stays there? Because many residents can see that thing going under in the next couple of years.
It has been a drain as the city has subsidized it over the years. The good news is that in the last year, with some management changes and philosophy changes, the subsidy has decreased, the losses are trimmed, we're doing better. So we are committed to a certain number of years in a contract. We have to live our contract out. It might be a lesson for the future when we have opportunities in the future like this to think twice about what we're getting ourselves into if it's a project that is going to require taxpayer subsidies to do it. And again, I'm in District 6, so from a District 6 perspective, I may be a little more hesitant to pour significant dollars into these large projects.
During my research on convention centers, a lot of the research always said that these types of buildings, public facilities, they're not really created to make money. they really lose money.
Yeah.
Do you think we should be doing that then? Like, for instance, Kennewick's going to go and it's going to be voting for a new link project.
Yeah.
If there's another, let's say there's a public facility district's ballot, would you be in favor of supporting something like that here in the future for the track, so that we can make improvements so that it could be more financially solvent?
PFD, so the front and center project in Pasco would be aquatics related. And my answer would be that if a project like that is undertaken, I would support it if there's a significant amount of private support and sponsorship stepping up and putting money into it before the city steps in and puts it up to the voters.
Next question is, we had a tragic officer-involved shooting a little over 2 years ago. Has the police department gained that trust back from the community, or was it ever really gone? And what did the city learn from this incident?
As far as it was indeed a tragedy, and the trust of the community, was it ever gone? I would say that in the minds of a certain segment of the community, they probably never trusted the police. The incident further created additional distrust, and I'm saying that we probably have a difficult time regaining their trust. But we also found out immediately following the misfortune that another portion of the community came out supporting the police, rallied behind the police in those days that were difficult immediately following. We had some events, public events and forums, and we were able to see the concerns of those who had issues with trust. They had a chance to speak out. As a result of this, changes have been made. I think the awareness necessary for mental health issues that we can see are afflicting certain people. You can see early warning signs. That's a sign that we need to pay attention and provide some services for mental health. And since then, social media by the police has become significant. Unfortunately, that wasn't happening 2 years ago. Since then, there are 40,000 eyes and ears on social media being updated by Pasco PD, several voices of Pasco PD interacting with the community, saying, here's what we're looking for, here's what's going on, here's who we arrested last week, and kind of putting a face on the PD to the community, involving and engaging the community to come alongside to help keep Pasco safe, to catch criminals quickly, and put the word out that crime does not pay in Pasco.
Now, did they already have those 40,000 followers 2 years ago?
I don't think so.
Grown over the past
I think this is a 2-year within the last year or two phenomena that the social media, we've kind of pioneered it here at Pasco PD. Other communities are looking and watching what we're doing, and it's been hugely successful. And I think this would help improve the interaction and the trust of the community and help prevent this kind of misfortune from ever happening again.
Right. Would you be in support of certain policy changes working with the police department so that we see more individuals of color, female and male on the police force? I don't want to go to the extent of affirmative action policies, but would just be preference policies to make sure that the police department represents and looks like the people it serves.
Right. We are making some strides in making the department look like the community. We have hired, the statistics are that we have a greater number of Spanish-speaking officers than the 3 cities. Of course, we have a higher Hispanic population as well, so we're trying to catch up on that curve. We do have a female officer coming on board lately, as of late, so that is happening. And as a goal, we are heading that way. Where as qualified individuals are coming available, we're recruiting. We're in a recruiting mode, and we do have a goal to bring on. We do have a small premium for Spanish speaking, and it certainly helps our community outreach and improves trust.
Okay. Right now, big issue is inclusivity. We have a lot of prejudice, discrimination, and stuff. And you've seen a couple of cities trying to pass these inclusive resolutions and stuff like that. Should so the city of Pasco be in that same boat and try and pass something that tells the community that, hey, we want you here, we are welcoming diversity?
Okay, so Richland has had the visitors coming for the last months, pushing the inclusivity. Kennewick had the Drive for Diversity Commission.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
and so
Kennewick created a diversity commission.
Correct.
After last year.
Okay, so Kennewick had a council member who said some things in a way that were not great. There's a good and a bad way to express things, and I think the manner of expression sort of gave rise to the Diversity Commission as a response to that. And some perceptions in Richland gave rise to the idea that there was a need for inclusion. I would say in Pasco, our actions speak pretty loud. We have a policy that we will not ask questions about your background, your immigration status for any application of police services, city services, signing up for anything. We just provide it. So I think that our actions speak loudly, and I think that the inclusion statement of a city, while everybody agrees it has no substantive value, it doesn't change the law, it doesn't change the way city employees are required to act, but the symbolic value is significant. And if we're going to have inclusive language, then the question is, who all are we including, then who are we excluding? And that gets into philosophical things, and I think that our actions as a community show that we are a together city, and I'm fine with leaving it at that basis.
Right, that's good. I don't like ask questions that kind of revolve around national politics, but this is something that has become affected state and local governments, and that is when President Trump dropped out of the
Paris
Agreement Accords. Do you see that the city of Pasco should be setting the tone and be addressing climate change here locally?
Okay. So the question is relevant because a number of cities have gotten on board to oppose withdrawing from Paris.
Yeah.
I would not lead Pasco to follow suit. I will leave it at the national level. I don't think that climate change is well established enough. I think the west side of the state is generally favorable to that thinking. I would say that this part of the state is much more skeptical, and Pasco does not need to climb on board that issue.
What have you done to prepare yourself for this city council run?
Well, as I said earlier, I've spent the last summer term taking Spanish 101 to become a little more conversant in the language and the usage, and for that I've got a book checked out that Luke Holloway of our Downtown Development Association mentioned to me about immigration, the experiences of some people about that.
Wow. What's the book called?
That's not that question is not on my list. You got Leo. You got me flat-footed on that one.
No, that's awesome. I'm glad
I'll tell you what it is. I may think of it here in a moment.
Yeah,
what it was called.
Readers,
yeah, absolutely.
That in the audience,
Sure.
maybe like, hey, maybe that's.
Luke will tell you what it is. He put me onto it. It may pop into my head. I've got it sitting on my table at home. And any number of these question and answer sessions that have gone through from various agencies has helped me to focus on it, going door to door around the community through hundreds of homes, have helped me to see what's important to people. Is recycling interested in you? While some candidates have said, well, are they keep hearing about recycling? I have not heard anybody talk about curbside recycling. I hear things like, how's my neighborhood doing? How is code enforcement doing? Are there cars abandoned on the streets? Are my potholes getting filled? Why is there street sweeping? Where's the police presence? Why did my bicycle get stolen from my back porch? That's what I'm hearing about quality of neighborhoods.
Awesome. Well, you know what? You said it all, and I appreciate you coming on this program. So I would like to give you a good minute to give your final pitch to the voters out there,
okay.
Because it's going to be November 7th before we know
That's
it.
Exactly right. That's right.
So go ahead and
okay.
Give us your pitch.
Okay. Quickly on promoting economic development, I think that low taxes are important, a user-friendly perception at City Hall and how we handle people who come to the desk for help for permits and services, fee structure, the safety of our community, and the stability and sense of togetherness that the council and the staff have together is would help and continue to help economic development. Hardships that come up in the office, I really wouldn't say that we've been fraught and hit with excessive hardships. Obviously, we had the shooting 2 years ago, which was a hard time. I would say that from year to year, the hardship is annual hardship of meeting our budgets. How can we fund the new obligations, police and fire, things like that, without raising taxes? And we have the games of shifting fees around, like the ambulance fees gone up considerably, and where's that money actually ending up? So those are our year-to-year challenges. So by way of conclusion, I would say that I'm a representative for District 6. I've lived in District 6 for 30 years, right in the middle of District 6. I've raised my 5 children here in District 6. I work in District 6 as a provider of affordable housing, which is another issue that we should address by eliminating the impact fee on apartments and replacing it with an incentive on taxes for the first 3 years to bring more apartments on board to bring supply and demand equal so our rents are not continuing to skyrocket. And so I am a District 6 representative. I am here working with the people, among the people, on my job. And so I look forward to serving this community for the next 4 years.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob. Again, this is candidate Bob Hoffman running for Pasco City Council, position 6. Thanks.
Thank you.